Okay, we're officially calling this meeting to order. I'd like a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. This is Mady Rosengarten.
Hi, Mady, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second, Derek Rogalski.
Okay, and Derek seconded. Okay, is there any objection to approving the agenda for the evening? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. The only item we have for this evening is County Commissioner Sweet, who is here to explain county's plans for transferring ownership of their liquid natural gas pipeline to Northwest Natural. And he is seeking our endorsement of that project. And so he's going to explain to us why.
Well, first I want to say how complimented I am. I don't think a school board has ever met at my request. But I really appreciate your taking.
Hands across the aisle. Here we are.
Okay, so a little history about the pipeline. This is before my time, but the county commissioners must have decided that a pipeline would be good for their local economy. And the voters of the county agreed and voted to sell bonds that would fund the construction of a pipeline from the Roseburg area to Coos County. At the western terminus of that, the Northwest Natural came into play, and they would receive the gas from the pipeline and then put in the distribution system to deliver the gas to the customers. The pipeline has been both a blessing and a curse. I think the people were right that it would be good for economic development. If you look at the major users of first not the non-major, there are 1,900 households in the county that have signed up for the use of gas. Major employers include Roseburg Forest Products, Southport Lumber Company, the Creamery in Myrtle Point. When I got looking into it, pretty amazing little thing down there. They get most of the milk from here and from far away as Northern California, and they deliver milk all the way, some at least, all the way to New Hampshire. So they're bringing in money from all over the country. And then you have the Bay Area Hospital and your schools. Those are the major users. Both cities, Coos Bay and North Bend, have submitted letters of support. So the problem has been that although our normal revenues in the pipeline keep up with the day-to-day, year-to-year expenses of maintaining it, taking care of normal maintenance requirements, the pipeline was built over a route that's prone, a mountainous route, prone to landslides, and along the Coquille River, which is prone to sloughing in. So part of the pipeline, one of our most crucial problem areas is the bank of the river here between Coquille and Myrtle Point, where a railroad ran for decades, and it was just fine. Rivers do funny things. In recent years, it's decided that it doesn't like to be quite where it is and wanted some of the land. And that's where the pipeline was. And that's not a good deal. And we reinforced it. We spent a lot of money, been $6 million in recent years, shoring up the riverbank and digging out slides that tended to break that pipeline in half in the mountains east of here. And we're left now with estimated damages that need to be fixed of $10 to $12 million, and we have $2 million in our account, in the pipeline account. Northwest Natural, of course, gets more revenue from the pipeline than we do. We just get paid for transmitting the gas from Roseburg to Coos County. They get paid for distributing the gas to all of the users. So they're getting more money out of the pipeline than we do have. And then they would be able to put the pipeline into their pipeline system, which is huge. And so these repairs wouldn't be as big a deal for them as it is for us. So the quandary we find ourselves in is that we can't afford to maintain the pipeline, even to fix up some of the problems that it now has. And yet gas delivery is very, very important, not only to our households, a good number of our households, but also to a good number of our employers, our major employers. And I think without the pipeline, it would be a horrible quandary for the county. We have looked and looked and looked for other sources of revenue. We've tried to get federal grants. Haven't found a state grant that would be able to deal with it, and we really haven't been able to qualify for any. So Northwest Natural is embracing the purchase of this. They would like to do it. However, they can't make this decision on their own. It requires a support of the PUC. And that in turn requires support from users and citizens of Coos County. So that's what we're asking for. And I hope that you can do it. They viewed this as an important, not business, but enterprise to write a letter of support.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions?
I just have a quick comment. Commissioner Sweet, how many other, you said that the city of Coos Bay, city of North Bend have both wrote letters of support. I believe I received one today from the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce as a Bay Area Chamber of Commerce member. Can you elaborate on any other additional?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. South Coast Development Council has agreed to do this. Caddy McEwen is doing it on behalf of the Coos Bay Pool because they use natural gas to heat the water. The Creamery in Myrtle Point is sending a letter. Southport Lumber Company is sending a letter. Roseburg Forest Products is sending a letter. Both cities are sending a letter, I understand. I haven't seen Coos Bay, I've seen North Bend. I think I'm missing someone. Let me take a quick look to see if I can, it's on a different page. GMA Garnett, are you familiar with them? They are a relatively new business in town. So we've got, I think we have the support we needed, but one of the specific requests was to kind of broaden it out over different areas. Don't make it all business, make it hospitals, make it schools. Let us know how important it is to the broader population of Coos County.
Kevin, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I had two. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, perfectly.
Okay. The first question is, does the school district collect any tax or anything off of this pipeline? And then the second one is Northwest Natural buying this, or is it supposed to be free?
They're buying it, but I'll tell you exactly what it is, and I will also tell you before I tell you what it is probably the best deal the county has made, Kevin.
Good.
Right now, you are not getting any taxes off the pipeline, just like you don't get any taxes off of the county or any building that we own. So I don't think you are. would be my guess. And I assume that you will once it becomes privately held. We are selling it to Northwest Natural for $1, and we are contributing to them the $2 million that we still have in the pipeline fund. And I think it was necessary to do that to get this approved by the PUC, because what they look after is, or what they are concerned about is Northwest Natural taking on anything that would cause other users in the state of Oregon to have their rates increased. And although when you spread this over their entire system, it's minuscule, is very small. I'm sure the math would be that this will adversely impact other users, the rates that other users pay.
Kevin,
So that's the answer. If you have other questions about that, I'd be happy to try to answer that.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for answering I guess my third question would be, the railroad used to be really active and it's sold and it's pretty stalled out. Is there some kind of guarantee that they have to keep pumping gas and that they're not going to stall out here in 5 or 10 years?
That, say that again. Who are you talking about?
So the question was, are they going to keep pumping fuel? Are there some kind of guarantee that
They being Northwest Natural?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you said the railroad, and I was assuming I may have misunderstood. No, we don't have a guarantee, but they would not be stepping up and taking on this commitment, in my view, were they not optimistic about the future of the Bay Area.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure anyway that you just go about that they could go about discontinuing the service in an area that I doubt the PUC would allow that, but I really don't know the answer to that question, I guess.
Mady, you have a question?
I do. I might have two, and this might be a question for Gary or David or Addie. I'm wondering, when's the last time the Coos Bay School District wrote a letter of support for something like this, or wrote a letter of support?
David, you could probably answer this and Addie better than me, but I believe we did this last year or the year before for the city. And David, take it from here. I know we talked about it a couple days ago.
Yes, it was either last year or the year prior. The Nicole Rutherford, the city manager, approached us about signing a letter of support or drafting a letter of support for it's MUPTE, but it had to do with multi-use property tax exemption. Oh, I think I even got the acronym right. So the developers could come in and build property and not get taxes from that for a number of years, I believe 10 years, but after which it would revert back to the normal tax rate to try to spur development in the area. So the way the board kind of viewed that one was, we're getting zero taxes from the empty lots now, but we would rather postpone 10 years and have more housing in the area and those kind of remedy those problems. And then for a future tax. So that was one that we had done in the past, along with, I know there's been a variety of others, but that one seems to stick in my mind as the most comparable to this situation.
And has writing a letter of support for something like this ever had any unintended consequences for our superintendent or school board or the school district?
Not since I've been here. So for almost 5 years.
Well, that's not quite true, which before I answer, Mady, I need to ask Commissioner Sweet, is there any opposition to this project?
I've had no local opposition whatsoever. Of course, I don't receive any opposition that the PUC might get. And they have a a group called the Consumers Utility Board, and it is their job, whether it's the one they've taken on or one that is dictated to happen, but to after rates and make sure that Northwest Natural is not taking on a project, making an investment that will cause their rates to all other customers have to be increased. And
But there's been no public local opposition to the project.
I have not heard of any local opposition.
Thank
I
you.
would guess you might find some people who are just absolutely against fossil fuels, any form, any use that would in essence be willing to sacrifice the well-being of a lot of families and a lot of institutions, both private and public, to have that happen. I would hope that wouldn't be the case, but
none of them have spoken up publicly.
no, they have not, Abby.
Okay, maybe I'm going to answer this question then. There was one incident where a former superintendent unwittingly, I believe, made comments about a project, the port project, and the reaction was pretty swift as to not believing that the school district should venture into that one. So that's why I asked if there's any public opposition, just so that we're not wading into some quagmire. Derek, I see you have your hand up.
Hi, Commissioner Sweet, Derek Rogalski. Thank you for coming to present this to us. I think I'm going to ask a couple of tough questions that I hope are not, I'm not trying to be combative. I just really want to understand before lending my public support. So the Coos County, the voters passed a bond where we spent a bunch of money, I don't know, however many millions of dollars to build a pipeline.
54.
And now we're $54 million to build a pipeline. And now in order to offload the pipeline, we have to give a company $2 million.
Well, not all of that 2 million came from the county.
Fair enough, but this it's not as though we're recouping any of the taxpayer money that was spent to build the pipeline. It's we've built something that is failing, and we have to offload it at a we actually have to pay the company to offload it. That's kind of where we stand.
Our option is to find some place to find another 10 or 12 million that we don't have to fix it up.
Right.
So
Right.
Really,
Okay. It sounds like a bad situation. You're between a rock and a hard place.
yeah, Frank, you Jake, that's a good way of putting it.
Well, or a river and a landslide, I guess, is maybe more apt. So I guess my other question is, are you aware of any potential conflicts of interest or other things that could drive this decision into Northwest Natural? I assume Northwest Natural has something of a monopoly. There's not another company that this could be sold to or given to, but usually in these types of things, there's bidding, or we try to get multiple opinions. Are we stuck with Northwest Natural, or is there other options?
They own the distribution facility, Derek, or all those pipelines. So, they've been a real good citizen here, and came in and they knew, or they would have built the whole thing. So they knew it would be, margins would be narrow, and yet they've been here and they've stayed here and they've been good citizens, and here they are stepping up to pay more or take on a bigger responsibility, and they will pay. They'll have to pay in the next year or two another $8 to $10 million to do the repairs that are necessary. These last few winters with all the water have been devastating.
But we as a county are in a position where we have no leverage if they decide to shut that. We're going to give them $2 million. They're going to take ownership of the pipeline, and we're going to rely on their good citizenship to keep gas flowing.
You didn't complete you didn't tell the whole story. We're giving them $2 million that we have, and we have it dedicated already to maintenance. So they're going to take that, and they are going to spend another $10 to $12 million in the next year or two to fix the pipeline up. So,
But is that part of our agreement with them? Like, is that part of the deal?
You mean, is it part of the agreement that they won't just buy the property and then not develop it any further?
I'm asking. Yeah, yes, I'm asking. But I mean, buy is a strong word, right? They're getting $2 million for this. So
they're taking.
Is there
use the phrase? They're taking over ownership of the.
Okay, yeah, that's a better phrase. Yeah, they're taking over ownership. Do we have, as a county, have a guarantee that they are going to follow through and put the $8 to $10 million in to have the pipeline improved?
But they have to get approval. I mean, that is the approval will be conditioned on that.
The approval from the PUC.
PUC, yes.
Okay, but that's not something that we as a county or have to have in the agreement.
We don't have the agreement in place yet. It's being worked on, and getting this the PUC permit done is paramount to getting that done. Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. I just don't see that happening. But I do think, Derek, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in my professional life, contracts are there to protect us when things don't go as we planned, or when the people we trust have other obligations that pull them in different directions. I just a transfer or a change of ownership of a public asset, we as the public should get as much out of that transfer as we can negotiate. And it sounds like we don't have much leverage. We have a broken pipeline that needs lots of money we don't have.
Transferring ownership of a liability is different than transferring ownership of an asset.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. But it's also, to build a brand new one would cost, maybe $100 million or some enormous amount of money at this point, beyond what it, if it was $54 million 20 years ago, a brand new pipeline would cost a whole heck of a lot more. So it still is an asset, even if it has major liabilities. It's kind of like our school district buildings that are very, very old. They are major liabilities, but they're also an asset. But thank you for answering my questions. I really appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, maybe I cut you off before. Did you have anything else to ask? I'm sorry.
Nope, that I just wanted to hear about sort of precedent setting from the school board's perspective. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kim, I know you were late to the game, but do you have any questions?
Call you right back.
Hi. Yeah. Sorry. For some reason, I thought it was at 5:30. I got it in my head that this was 5:30. I guess that's normally the time that we meet. So I apologize for being late. This is something extremely new for us. I don't know what role we have here. I mean, it sounds to me like, Commissioner Sweet and the other commissioners need to do what they need to do, and that we're being asked to write a letter in support of what they're doing, because maybe that's what it looks like that they need is from some of the community partners, these letters. I just don't recall us having, I don't know, it just doesn't seem the place of the school board, but I don't know what we have to.
Kim, David did point out at least one incident a couple of years ago where the board had written a letter of support on the request of Nicole Rutherford when she asked us to support the city's actions with regard to housing. Wasn't that it, David?
Yes, the MUPTE application, the multi-use property tax exemption to allow developers a tax exemption for building new units, particularly multi-housing units.
Was that in Empire?
I believe it was for all of Coos Bay.
And so we wrote a letter to the board. So was that something, because how long has she been, has it been since she's taken over? Was that during my tenure?
Yes, that was either last year or the year prior.
Okay, so that would have been Addie or myself that wrote the letter.
I believe it was Addie, if I remember correctly.
And it was just last year.
Yes, and Nicole Rutherford came and we had a meeting and she kind of presented it to the board as well. I want to say we were in Heritage Hall for that meeting.
I remember the meeting. I just don't remember us writing a letter, but.
And that one was actually conditional on, because we're one of the largest taxing entities in the district, they really needed our support or it wouldn't have gone through.
I remember us voting on it. I didn't remember the letter. I remember us voting on it, and obviously we had lots of questions because in so many years, I thought David and Adrian were on the board at that point too. So if I remember right, but it impacted the school district. The monies in the future did. And so we had a lot of questions for her. And I remember she came once and then we had questions and then she came back and that had happened. So I'm just trying to figure out where we lie in this. Is this future funding we're not going to be getting, like in the Nicole Rutherford case?
Well, I think actually Commissioner Sweet touched on something I hadn't thought of, in that currently we don't receive any revenue from the tax or the gas pipeline because it's owned by the county. When it switches to private industry, that may change, because we don't collect taxes on county assets.
Right.
When it's a private asset, there may be, and I don't know that for sure, but it seemed to be the implication that when it's a private asset, that tax exemption
Be collected.
If you are receiving, and the county is receiving property tax payments from Northwest Natural Gas, this will add to what they are paying taxes on.
Okay, so they're already paying taxes on that. So my question would be,
They're already paying taxes on what they have, but this would add to what they have.
Right. So what other letters have you received if that's not been talked about? I don't want to go through things you guys have already talked about since I was late. That's on me.
Pretty much all of the other major,
like North Bend School District, Coquille School District, Myrtle Point School, every school in the county, I'm assuming, is.
No, actually, Kim, the PUC suggested that we pick kind of the major entity of all the various things that happen to keep the county going. Schools being one of them. They said it would be good to get Coos Bay School District. They didn't.
But not Ben?
They said it would be good to get Bay Area Hospital. They didn't ask for Coquille Hospital. They just wanted a broad representation. They said try to find someone that is agriculturally oriented. That would be the creamery in Myrtle Point.
Mm-hmm.
Find a couple of wood products industry people. That's huge in our area. That's Forest Products and Southport Lumber Company. What's
Fishing.
another major industry you have there? Well, it's GMA Garnett. So they've, then what about cities and schools that represent a lot of people? So that's kind of where we are. They don't need it from everyone. They just want to know that various economic sectors are using the facilities and support natural gas. The downside, I think, is something we have to consider too. Roseburg Forest Products just ended up putting in a $50 million dryer that's dependent on natural gas. A few years before that, they made a bigger investment than that because this plant is a good plant and they want to keep it up to date, but it requires natural gas. Southport's the same thing. They like to dry as much of their lumber as they can to reduce their shipping costs.
And currently,
would be disastrous to them.
And currently we have all of our kitchens run on natural gas in our schools, and some of our boilers run on natural gas.
Okay, are there any other questions for Commissioner Sweet? Thank you very much for coming to make a presentation on this. It does explain better what you're asking for and why you are asking for it, which is what a lot of us were questioning. Since this really is one of the first times the county has ever reached out to the school district, and we hope it continues.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you. I'm honored that you would come together tonight. I think this is really important. I so appreciate what you're doing.
Okay, well, we're going to move into our next part, which is to discuss what we just heard. You're welcome to stay, but you do not have to.
I'd like to if I could.
You're welcome to.
In case other questions come up.
Okay, discussion. I'm hearing no discussion.
This is Derek Borowski. I would just say that it seems like the commissioner and the county are making the only choice they can, and they have broad business support. I think this can positively impact the district in terms of maintaining natural gas supply and also potentially increasing the amount of sort of taxable land that we have access to. It's not my role, but I kind of wish the county could get a better deal for this asset or liability, however you want to look at it, since the taxpayers poured that much money into something that's now being transferred to a private company. But that's not my role as a school board member.
I can answer that question if you don't mind my interrupting here. And
No, not
we asked that, and specifically because we take it very seriously, giving any money away. But it's money that would be spent anyway in the pipeline. It wouldn't fix the problem. That's the problem. But it also it came back to us that this would be very important to the PUC, to PUC's granting permission that we dedicate whatever we can to the pipeline to hold down the cost to other customers on the system.
Is this being supported by all the commissioners?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other questions or further discussion? Then can I have a motion, please, to either support the request that we provide a letter in support of this transfer, or that we don't? Do we need further discussion?
I can provide a motion that we draft a letter of support for the county's project to transfer the ownership of the pipeline to Northwest Natural.
Thank you,
And
Derek.
I'll second. This is Mady.
Okay, and it's been seconded by Mady. Okay, is there any further discussion? Kevin?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I just saw your thing go on. Okay, then we're going to take a vote. Derek,
Aye.
Mady,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. So we will be providing a letter of support, I guess, directly to the PUC. Is that correct? We write it directly to the PUC?
Yes, you do. And
Okay, perfect.
thank you very much for supporting this. And I do believe that Gary has the PUC's address, and it's important to put on the letter, the docket
Yep, I've got that. We have that one.
you're talking about.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All I have to sign off to get to another meeting.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Rogowski. Commissioner Sweet, thank you. And Addie,
you.
I'll communicate with you tomorrow, Addie, on the letter and make sure that we're good to go.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you,
all.
Commissioner. Come back. You're always
Well-
welcome.
I will. All I need is more meetings.
Yeah,
Addie, you need to adjourn
Oh,
us.
fine.
okay.
Even though we lost.
Before we've all left, I want to adjourn this meeting officially. It's 5:51. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.